Check it out! Yes! Agent Venom is back, and better than ever!
How's it going, y'all? Rowdy Riles back with another video. Finally coming at you with the first of the new retro Spider-Man wave. I have them all coming from Pulse, but this one came first. So first we have Agent Venom, Eugene Thompson, aka Flash Thompson. I haven't watched any reviews on this because I try not to do that. I try not to taint my reviews with other people's reviews, but I have seen some like Reddit posts and all that stuff about some complaints about this figure, and this was supposed to be an upgrade, but Hasbro being Hasbro, it seems like it's a new figure with some new bells and whistles and some different problems from the older release that we had. So with all that being said, let's take a closer look at the box, and then we'll get this bad boy open, and hopefully I won't be too disappointed. I'm probably going to get rid of the old one regardless, but still, it's just like, you had all this time, Hasbro. You could have made it perfect.
There's no I in team. I'm only here for myself and Ock.
Move aside, Stinky. Then it's up to us to stop Ock and Zola. Even this new smelly guy, I guess.
Taking a look at the front of the box, you can see it says Marvel, Spider-Man, Agent Venom, Flash Thompson, Legend Series, and then of course we have Flash there in the card. On the back, we get a render, the rest of the wave, which has Spider-Man Unlimited, Agent Venom, who we have Spider-Boy, Electro, Francine Fry, Marvel's Kane, and Marvel's Chameleon. And the only other two I have coming are Kane and Chameleon, because the other one's not good enough. And Francine Fry and Spider-Boy, if I see them in Ollie's, because they will end up there, I will probably scoop them at that point. And then we've got a render and a blurb. When Flash Thompson bonds with an alien parasite suit, he's granted spider-like powers as Agent Venom. So with all of that being said, let's get this bad boy open.
Nah, don't worry, I got him. You can just sit back and watch again, Scarlet Spider.
So you know what I like to do with mint on card figures. I like to just... Oops. I didn't mean to tear it, but you know, sometimes stuff happens. And there is our Agent Venom out of the cardboard. Oh boy. Like, yes, he looks cool aesthetically, but as I grabbed him and started trying to articulate him, there are definitely problems with this figure. And the problem does not start with the paint or the head sculpt or the sculpt itself in general. It all actually looks really good. You can see that really clean spider on the front of his armor. And then, of course, we get a lovely Flash Thompson face. It looks great. We get some spikes there on the shoulders. We get that webbed bodysuit with more spikes there on the elbows. That spider comes all the way down, and we get a utility belt down there. By the way, I am going to start streaming. I had my first stream last night, and if you were there, thank you. But I would love to have more people come next time. So if you see I'm scheduled for streaming, try to pop in and say hey. But regardless, all the way down to his boots, which there is no boot cut, and it's stupid. He's got those spikes, and that the sculpt is amazing. I'm not going to complain about that whatsoever. It's just the articulation is lacking, and it's like, why? You know exactly what you need to do. There's no waist cut and there's no boot cut. That's the problem, and we will go over articulation. But he looks fantastic, so I am definitely going to get rid of the old one. It's just, that one had those old ball joint hips that were terrible, and that was really the only problem with the figure other than the vest overlay not really wanting to stay on, and they fixed those with this figure, but then they have a new set of problems. So as cool as he looks, he's probably going to end up on my worst Marvel Legends of the year just because of the downgrades in articulation, which is insane to me. But I do really like that Flash Thompson head sculpt, and I did have my old Agent Venom with the Flash Thompson head from the Vulture and Spider-Man 2-pack on, so this was a nice surprise that they gave us a new comic book-based Flash Thompson head, so that's really cool. Rest in peace, Flash, by the way. I'm pretty sure he's still not alive at this time in the comics. Checking out his height, he stands at just over 6 inches, which is fine. Flash is like 6'1", 6'2". It's totally fine for me, and we'll see in the comparison what he looks like next to the Secret Wars symbiote Spider-Man and all the other Venoms. But height is not a problem for me. Maybe he should be a little bit bulkier, but the height is really not an issue for me. All right, so moment of truth, articulation time. Starting at the head, head goes back and forward, actually a decent amount, so there's no problems there. Side to side as well. Let's see what that system is. Oh, look, they fixed that ball peg that actually has a range of movement now, so that's interesting, but there is no neck movement. It's all in that ball peg. Did you see that? That was pretty cool. Shoulders come up 90 degrees. These are a floating shoulder piece, which is nice. We get a bicep cut, full rotation, double elbows, which work beautifully. We get an upper ball peg torso with no lower ab crunch and no waist cut. It's all done in the upper torso, which is insane to me. No drop down hips, legs come forward to the side and back, actually kind of far back. That's impressive, actually. Double knees, pinless double knees, so he can kick his own butt. We do get a thigh cut, and we get no boot cuts whatsoever, and we get very, they're fine. I thought they were limited, but they're just kind of tight. We get some rockers. So yes, he can pose, but you cannot turn his boots, and you cannot turn his waist. So it's kind of like, why did you do this, Hasbro? Because the old one has a waist cut, and the old one, well, the old one doesn't have a boot cut, but the old one has a waist cut. So there's at least one more articulation point on this old Agent Venom that the new one does not have. And that's insane to me. Like, why? What Hasbro? But we're not going over comparison yet. So sorry, I knocked one of my lights over. So once we get to comparison, we will really go over that stuff. Now we're going over accessories. We already saw him with the flash head. So first he comes with an Agent Venom head, and it is a new sculpt from this one, but I do also like the old one. Maybe those will fit on a head swap. We'll see. And then, you know, we had the Flash Thompson head. So here is Flash in Flash with the older head that we just got last year, and the new one that we just got just now with Agent Venom. So we've got the VHS Flash head, if it wants to focus, right here next to, my hands are really dry, I'm sorry, next to the new one. And you can see they're kind of similar. Like, we got those big jowls and the big chin and all that stuff, and the blonde hair and the blue eyes. They're similar, but they're different enough that you could use the VHS head for just some random character if you wanted, and the new one for Flash, which is cool. But it is cool to have both. So those are that accessory. And then we get, of course, the Venom head. Then we get two weapons. We get them out. I hadn't gotten them out of the plastic yet. We get this old pistol that we've seen very many times. We've seen it quite a few times. So nothing new in there. And then we get this shotgun, which is, I don't know if it's new. Let me know. It might be new sculpt. I don't recognize it, but it's just straight up gray plastic. And then the thing that we didn't get with the older Venom is alternate hands. So he's got, excuse me, I got the hiccups. He's got his alternate trigger hands in right now, which you can see right here. So that's for holding the guns. And then we also get fists. Well, if I can get them, fists and open hands. So that's cool that we got extra hands, and it's always cool to have more Venom styled hands. So that's pretty cool. And yeah, I will definitely do photography and use those hands at that point. But now we're going to get into comparison for Agent Venom here.
Pete pulled me aside and said that if anyone comes for that key, I had to stop him. So consider yourself stopped, punk.
Before we get into the nitty-gritty with comparison, I thought this would be a cool shot. The evolution of Venom as far as height goes, because, you know, Eddie was the second host. But we've got our Amazing Fantasy, our retro Spidey, our new Agent Venom, our old Agent Venom, our retro carded Venom from last year, and our King in Black Venom with swapped retro feet from another retro Venom, the older Life Foundation Venom that I swapped the feet from. So there are all the Venoms lined up. Now, in my opinion, this, oh, I almost knocked them over. And this are going to be the ones that are on my shelf, not in my opinion, because that's the fact. Those three Venoms are going to be on my shelf. Well, actually, this one is on the Spider-Man shelf, so this one goes on my Avengers shelf. So those three, and the height difference works because this makes Spidey about 5'10", this makes Flash about 6'2", and then Venom is about, I would say, like 7 feet tall. So yeah, that totally works. But let's get into comparing the old and the new Agent Venom. So the first difference you're going to notice, of course, is the height. The new Agent Venom is actually much smaller, and that's fine. I don't mind that because Flash is not like a super huge dude. He's 6'2". He's also a double amputee, so Venom could make him taller if he wanted to. But, you know, either one works for your display, in my opinion. But this one is newer. It's pinless. Like, I like the bulk and the size of him as well, but it's just older. I hate those old ball joint hips, and he's even missing paint on this one, so it doesn't look right. If you could even see it, which you can't because the belt gets in the way. But he's got an actual holster on him, which is cool. So let me put his pistol in there. I actually didn't. And the one on the old Agent Venom is sculpted in. So, you know, he can actually hold his holster. And these trigger finger hands suck, so he doesn't hold guns very well. And the other thing about this Agent Venom is he's got the spot in the back to put in the symbiote tendrils, but he does not, which is kind of a shame. It would have been cool if he could do that, but it is what it is. Probably going to get rid of this Agent Venom, but let's do a head swap really quick. Well, maybe I can't get rid of the old Agent Venom because that head looks so much better on the new one. It's not as wide, which makes it look better next to this Spidey, because that head looks huge. It looks like Flash got brain damage and his head is swelling. So I'll probably leave this old Agent Venom head on the new figure just because it looks better. And you know I'm a stickler for scale and how things look, and that just looks better. So probably for the rest of the review, he's going to have that head on just because, well, no, I have to switch it back. Come on, Riley, be responsible. Don't mislead people. By the way, like and subscribe if you're not subscribed and you haven't liked the video, because that really helps the channel. We are growing pretty fast. We're at 3,090 right now, almost to 3,100. So we're only 400 away from giving away one of these guys. I do have one for y'all. So once we hit 3.5, we will be picking someone from the comments. So make sure you comment in that video and you're subscribed and you like the video, and then you are entered to win a retro carded Venom of your very own. Sorry, I'm adjusting stuff right now. But yeah, there is Agent Venom next to Retro Spidey and Retro Card Venom, because these are the ones that are on my Spider-Man shelf. Like I said, for me, Renew Your Vows and Retro Card Spideys are perfect on a Spider-Man shelf, not on a regular Avengers shelf, because in that point, they are too big. Spider-Man should not be the same height as Captain America. That is a fact. Don't at me. But regardless, let's go back to comparison. Here he is next to the old Agent Anti-Venom. I know we'll probably get an Anti-Venom on this body at some point, but it's just, you could have just improved the old one and it probably would have been a better figure instead of doing almost sculpt, but what do I know? Here he is with Monster Force, G.I. Joe, and Action Force, because Agent Venom, Military Commandos goes together really well, and I'd say that's about good for comparison because I did a lot of babbling. So with all that being said, y'all, this Agent Venom totally has some problems. I would not say that he's a worthy update, but if you don't have Agent Venom and, you know, the amazing Yamaguchi one is sold out, you can always go the CT Toys route. But they're still knockoff toys, and it's not really moral to support something like that, regardless of whether they're making good stuff or not. It's just, I don't know. I have a CT Toys, and, you know, everyone has their different opinions. I bought them as a reviewer, as someone to show you. But for this, I'm just going to say, pass on it if you have the old Agent Venom, or the amazing Yamaguchi Agent Venom. Just don't grab this. It's going to be a letdown. I do still like it. It's still going to go on my shelf. Like, I don't love it, but it's better than the old one in some ways, and it's worse in other ways. It just is what it is. You know, you gotta take the good with the bad sometimes, unfortunately. And if you're a Marvel Legends collector, sometimes there's more bad than good when it comes to these reviews. But it was the one I was really looking forward to. Kane is the one I'm most looking forward to, so hopefully that one doesn't let me down as much. And then I will be doing a Clone Saga video, so I'm going to be retelling Clone Saga with all the action figures that I have to do that. So stay tuned for that. Like the video. Subscribe if you're not subscribed, because we do want to give away that retro carded Venom, speaking of Venom. And we're only going to do that once we hit 3.5. So we're like 400 subscribers away. So just hit like. We're going to start live streaming more. So check out my replay of the original live stream. I'm going to try to do that once a week for now. And then once we get memberships, I'll try to do some members only live streams here or there. So there's a reason to be a member, and I'll only charge like $1 or $2 a month, something like that. So it's not like it's going to be breaking the bank either. So we're getting there. We're getting to monetization. We're getting to bring our opinion to other people's, branching out in communities and trying to meet other action figure YouTubers and all that stuff. So, you know, comment, like, subscribe. Let me know how your day is going. Say hey. Keep your head up. Stay brave. Be kind to your local LGBTQ community. Say thank you to the women in your lives, and that you support them and you're there for them. And I love you. I will see you next time, and bye-bye. Mwah.